Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Sue Shipe. I'm also known here as Mariah. I'm here representing two organizations. One is the International Institute for Human Empowerment, which is sponsoring this seminar today, and also the New World Empowerment Center, which is I like to think of as the activity part of this empowerment organization. Together, we're under something called New World Empowerment Ministries. I sat down today before coming here, and I received a message. I always do this. I always meditate before we have any kind of workshop or seminar, and I always receive a message to deliver. So I'm going to deliver that message for you right now. This is from the Teachers of Love. It's a message for wellness. You are a spirit and a body. That's how you came to serve. The body contains the lessons the spirit needs to learn. It's part of the soul's curriculum. When you experience illness in the body, that is a message that your spirit is in need. It may be in need of rest and nourishment, so you change your lifestyle. It may need to be rid of stress, so you change your environment. It may need to avoid those things that are not good for the spirit. You may need to prioritize yourself so that you take care of your body in order to take care of your spirit. You see, you don't know who you are. When you realize who you are, you will know that the divine resides within you, and that is why you are here. Each person has a gift. That gift needs to be contributed to the world. When you are not contributing your true gifts, the body reacts to get you back on path. Your gifts are deep inside you, waiting to be nourished and gifted to the world. So do not fear for your body. It is full of intended healing. It can be healed. Focus on your spirit and your body will see many of its issues fade away. It's not for us to blame ourselves. There's way too much of that going around. Blaming yourself is wasted energy that can be used for helping others. Helping others with a joyful heart is a sign that one is on the right path. If you are stressed and unhappy, caught up in other people's stuff, you're not focusing on what you came to do. You came to serve the world. The antidote to much suffering in the world is self-love and serving others. Sue, we call her Mariah, is here to serve. We speak to you through her. We are glad that you are here to focus on your health and well-being. Focus on finding your spiritual path, and you will also find your path to wellness. Healing is not magic. It is a process. A little of this, a little of that, and a lot of awareness of your own beautiful spirit that is indeed here to express in the world. Mariah can help you find your spiritual path. We assist her. Therapists can help you address physical and emotional issues. Healing energy will go where it needs to go in your body to relieve negative energy. It all works together. You call it synergy. We call that the soul's curriculum. When you intend to heal, the healing process has already begun. So congratulations on your decision to heal. We can help you. Thank you. I'd like to introduce two very special people to me today. Lorraine Caleri is a massage therapist and occupational therapist, and Dottie Freeman is also a massage therapist and occupational therapist. They have put together a wonderful presentation for you, full of so much information, and I'm just so excited and grateful to them for coming here and presenting this today, and thank you for coming.
Welcome. Just some housekeeping things. Bathrooms are in the back. There's also a kitchen back there. There's ice with cups.
I'm Dottie Freeman. I've been an occupational therapist since 1986, and I recently became a massage therapist. And I became a myofascial and craniosacral therapist back in 2003 was my first cranial course. And then I took the myofascial courses and became an advanced level myofascial release therapist. And I became involved in myofascial release because Lorraine had told me about it time and time again, but it wasn't until I got injured and said, I fell hanging Christmas tree lights and held on to the lights, but let my back get out of whack. And I was in spasm and pain and went to a chiropractor 3 times that week and next week, and I'm thinking, this isn't really working for me. And I remembered she had kept saying, you gotta try myofascial release. And I said, yeah, everybody thinks their stuff is the best. So I did, and I called, and I did go to the therapist that she had seen, the massage therapist, and in one session, totally released the tension that I held in my body. I could move my neck, I could move my body, and I was like, wow, I have to pay attention to this. And shortly after that, I decided to take 3 courses in a row, one right after the other. I didn't just start off. Came back, started treating all my family and friends, and by the end of that year, I had incorporated and was doing this as an occupational therapist, as my primary way of treating. And that therapist that I saw that day is now my office mate, and we have a thriving practice in myofascial release. And I also do biodynamic cranial sacral therapy. And we'll talk about how fascia and cranial sacral work kind of go hand in hand throughout the movie. And so now we'll give Lorraine a chance to introduce herself.
Thank you, Dottie. It was sort of funny when we were reviewing what we were going to talk. I sort of forgot about our connection and our path. So I met Dottie years ago when we were working as MTs. I met you years later. But anyway, I also was an occupational therapist. I came to Albany in 1985. I always have worked with people with fibromyalgia. Back then they called it fibrositis. We had a wellness program through Sunnyview. I went to private practice, and I was always really attracted to like the wellness model, how to help patients to manage their body, their soul, their emotional health. So I did a lot of teaching and training with biofeedback training, relaxation training, all the OT sort of things. But it wasn't until I really hurt my neck that I went to a massage therapist, and he said, you really should try myofascial. And he gave me this other therapist's name, and I went to see her, and she helped me tremendously. And I remembered that I had taken a couple courses years before in myofascial, just some intro courses through some other therapists. So fast forward 20 plus years, I went to massage school, and I graduated in 2007, yes? And I have a private practice as well. Mostly, I do a fair amount of massage, but I definitely do more myofascial release and cranial sacral therapy, and a little shiatsu. We can talk about that as well. So I'm so grateful to be here, and we had a lot of fun putting this together. It was very challenging for us, technologically challenged, and but we really learned a lot just by putting it together. And we hope that it's simple enough, but enough information. So feel free. I do not oppose people asking questions as we go. Like, could you say that again? Or I didn't get that. Please interrupt us. Definitely move around. Because we learn as we go, moment by moment as we do this.
So I'm just going to give you a brief overview before we start the slides so you'll know what's coming ahead. We're going to be talking first about wellness, and then wellness and wholeness, the connection, body, mind, spirit, and what this has to do with fibromyalgia, and then why we are doing myofascial release and cranial sacral therapy for fibromyalgia, and why massage therapy as an intervention for fibromyalgia. We're not spending a lot of time in this talk talking about fibromyalgia because we assume that you have the report there that we're going to be referring to that gives fabulous information, and we're willing to address questions, but we're not coming with facts about demographics and how all the studies. We just have worked with fibromyalgia clients and know that this has helped a lot of people. So we're coming from the place of going right to them. And we'll probably do there's some videos embedded in this, and we have some demonstrations. And in the end, we're talking about the connection with water. And we're going to end up at the same place that Sue started, talking about body, mind, spirit, and its relationship to wholeness. So with that, I guess we can go ahead. Yeah. So wellness is a state of being in good health that is an actively sought goal. So you think you can take that, like everybody knows what wellness means. We know that another word for wellness is healthiness and wholeness. The opposite, illness, sickness, infirmity, unhealthiness, decrepitude. Go ahead and change it. But the word wellness comes from the very same root as the word for health, wholeness, holiness, and happiness. There is definitely a connection between our health, our holiness, and our general well-being. It also is connected with the word sound, meaning of sound mind. So in this presentation, you're assuming when we talk about wholeness as an interconnected body, mind, and spirit. That is who you are. In the field of biodynamic craniosacral therapy, which is one of my areas of specialty, wholeness refers to the embryo that you still are. The embryo evolves. It has the blueprint for health inside it, and everything it needs is inside as it just keeps unfolding and unfolding. And it knows naturally how to heal itself, how to shape itself, how to balance itself. And as Michael Shea, who is also the craniosacral therapist that I studied with, he talks about the fact that this inherent blueprint for health is an ongoing process throughout your life. And just as if we were embryos, continuing to unfold. We can get sidetracked, that inherent blueprint. Things like trauma, inflammation, environmental toxins, social things. But we have that health and wholeness, it's already there. What we just need to do is kind of return to that. And the important thing that we think you can have happen with body work is not have a mental concept of healthness and wholeness. You can come into your body and feel your body as a safe place to
walking and look and see how they're holding themselves, and look and see sort of like this global picture of hip is down, the shoulders rotating, you sort of look at that. You look at range of motion, what you can do is how you're bending back and taking them down. Oftentimes, I would say most physical therapists do myofascial do a very specific postural evaluation. I don't do as much. I've been to the course many times, and it's very left brain, so it's really hard for me to teach much better. She's taught me a lot. So
I don't have a brain.
she's just more integrated. She's more integrated. She can like jump right to left and stuff like that. So what they really look at is they look at the difference between a tight back versus a tight hamstring. They look at if the hips are posterior, anterior, if they're not, they're going to turn forward and then back. I actually brought some tools to show you. So that's what a postural evaluation really is. And your shoulders and everything. Again, they look at that three-dimension. If you look back at your like this is very linear. It's up and down. The fascia is three-dimensional, so it's like we look at the whole dimension of the hand. If you look at turned up toe, we're looking at how it affects the body three-dimensionally. One slide into that. So it's like the analogy is if the skeleton was the tent, the hole, the muscles were like the tent. The fascia is like the guide wire. That's what's pulling us in or out, giving us the imbalances. And that's sort of how we look at people. We look at them very softly. We just have them stay in front of us and we just kind of shock them. Because each day is different time. Also for that audience. So we look at what are called transverse planes. So if this was the body, transverse planes go this way. And this, I don't have a picture of an oak barrel, but the oak barrel that has the metal rings. That's just what we look at. So we look at the pelvic diaphragm is right at the sacrum. The respiratory diaphragm is right here. And that whole diaphragm is a really large, flat muscle that turns the building. We feel that. We look at that. And the neck. And we look at soft tissue. We look to see, so picture. The guy had broken her arm and she was a child. I sort of forgot about it, so we were working on it yesterday, and I'm like, oh, notice that. And I was just noticing that soft, springy feel, one side versus the other. So it was like that's the sort of soft tissue that feeling what the tissue is doing.
She did not know. She starts when she said, "What's this?" And I got my arm starts doing things like it's stuck right there. So that is a very long time. I was 9 years old when I broke my arm, and I've been working on it along the deck. There's still places where you can tell it's different, and you find it.
So John Barnes' approach is really a three-pronged approach. It's like a triangle. The first one is when he teaches in his first level course, it's called myofascial mobilization. Some of you maybe have had PT or massage where they do deep tissue. This part is really like sort of looking for the fibers, really deep, trying to use some stripping through the muscles. That's one portion of it, which is important. The other portion is the unwinding part, and you heard that a little bit. We're going to do a demo. It's like when we take the arm or the leg or the head out of gravity, so we support it. What happens is it begins to soften, and that three-dimensional fascia begins to change, unwind, and move. So, if you're working on something, you'll say, "Are you moving my head?" I said, "No, I'm just following your head," and they're starting to change. If you look at cats in the morning stretching or little babies, they're doing this all day long. Cat their top, leg out. They're unwinding.
They're melting their buds.
They're melting their bodies. Like that. People don't like that. So that's the second portion. So we believe that those together. And the third portion that's really important is this rebounding. And rebounding is this gentle vibrational shaking through the body. It's like creating a wave that softens the restrictions. And when I work with my clients, I'm always telling them to imagine themselves as water. Picture their body as water, like I'm pushing on a water balloon, and that really helps them to soften. And sometimes we do a little bit more quicker shaking or big shaking. And again, I talked about this before. What happens is the nervous system doesn't know what to do with that information, so the body pushes to soften. The analogy is sort of like waves pounding on the shore, like the erosion. You learn the way those washing restrictions. And really, it's that unconscious holding time that has to work. It's just like so. It's really profoundly effective. Oh, the vibrator?
I'm not sure, but it makes sense to me. I can't say that for sure. But, well, another piece is that vibration causes muscles to contract. So they're being stimulated. And they contract so much that they finally let go. And so vibration is also another method to have a muscle reach its threshold and then it lets go. So the relaxation. The thing I think about rebounding is that the fluid creates wave, and the longer you do it, the wave increases in amplitude. It gets bigger, it gets stronger. You're still landing, you still got your hard body, you still have your sore neck, and you'd be darned if you're going to let anybody, touch it or shake it. But after a while, that wave just gets bigger, and without you realizing that unconscious holding pattern you have, the wave itself starts to overcome the holding. It's just the rocking. Rocking itself is gentle rocking. Neurologically, is what you would call inhibiting, meaning it's the opposite of being stimulated. It's calming and rocking. So the people that have very tight muscles, maybe a person with cerebral palsy, gentle rocking is
Some of the things that we might give for homework is a self-release would be like a large ball. Some people like to use like a hard tennis ball or something, but that can be really painful for some people. So the larger the ball, the gentler the release.
You might teach somebody to do it, like on their upper back. This one's a pretty big ball, but I've been doing this for a while, so I can do this. And sometimes, like, if it's too much on their neck, they have to support their head a little bit.
Most of my clients would not be able to do that. I would have them lean against the wall so that they could determine how much pressure. To put their whole body weight on the ball, that would be way too much. But if I wanted, say it was like my upper back, I could lean into it. I'd say, oh, okay, that's the really tight spot. And I can lean as far into it as I want. But I want it to be gentle enough. I don't want it to be so painful that I can't hold it for at least 2 minutes. Because that's the magic of being able to hold it. So if I start leaning into the ball and it's like, that's enough, I can't do it, it's self-defeating because you got to start the clock all over again. So you got to find, you might have to move a little to the right, left, or above or below that place. So you get a place that you can hold. And what happens, you will feel all of a sudden, you'll sort of feel something moving and you will feel the ball being able to, your body yields to the ball.
Suppose I was doing that pretty quick. Sometimes we teach it in the diaphragm too. Like actually, this one's a softer ball, but actually my hand doesn't feel too bad. Sometimes I can't even do that at all. Can't not go anywhere near that spot. And we might teach them to do it like in the hip flexor.
So I never give anyone an exercise without having them try it there first, so I can see whether they shouldn't do it. If I know somebody's going to push themselves too hard, I'm like, no, we're not ready to do that yet. Because some people say, oh, a little bit felt good. I'll just do it, and I'll just do it for 5 minutes. And then they come in, and they're like, oh, it's like, so I know I'm one of those that have done that, so I know that that's not helpful. So then we'll try it. So sometimes you might need to start out on a bed. You can't start on the floor. You've got to start on something that absorbs some of the pressure. Or like this, the massage table would be softer than doing something on the floor. So, so you modify it. So when I ever give a demo or anything, I always say, you can see these things, and there's YouTube videos that show you how to do it. But if you have someone that's working with you, they're going to guide you into modifying it for you so that you get the effect of it without overdoing. These we don't generally give to the individuals unless it's somebody that we've seen for a long time and if they have a chronic issue. These are the orthopedic blocks that if a person tends to chronically have an issue. Okay. Yeah.
She's
So-
really good at the pelvis.
So if a pelvis is rotated,
Go to her for pelvic work.
so your posture, yeah, your lower on your left.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just because it works the same way fascia works. It's just being held, put it in position for a longer period of time. And now I'm just going to block this from going further back. So I'm blocking this. So your pelvic, you have two pelvic bones, and you have the sacrum in the middle. If one is tipped forward, relative to that, the other is tipped back. So there's a way that we decide, is this an anterior rotation on this side or a posterior on this side? Well, one of them is going to be stuck, and that's the one we name it after. It's the right hand side is stuck. So I can do this, and I might end up working with another area. So if she's posteriorly rotated there, I might be working, but I would be working directly on her skin. You can go to the other side so the camera can see.
And that's, like, so this side, I have more tightness on the IT band on that side. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it would be fine. So if she's wearing her gym shorts, what I usually ask people to, I would probably have access to her leg right here with no problem. And I might ask if I could go just under her elastic of her waistband, put that another hand there. And so what we're doing is putting one hand on, the other hand on, this cross hand release. I sink into the collagenous barrier. It's a feel. You can just sort of feel when you're through the skin and then I would separate my hands enough to have a little traction. And again, so this is going to be gentle, and then I would be holding. So this is not going to work, on top of her clothes. There's energy work, and the warmth of my hands can be making a difference to her. But the true myofascial release is really working through the skin. So I'm going to take these out, and I'm going to show you the sacral wedgie. So this is one of the things that people do use to self-treat. So a lot of times there's low back pain, and people are jammed in the low back. And you feel that. It just feels like your low back is curved and jammed. And it feels like what you want is to just be able to stretch and lengthen gently. This creates a little drag on the sacrum to hold it in place. So I usually have the client, I tell them where to put that the flat part of this. There's different ones. The male pelvis and the female pelvis are different. The male pelvis is longer, so the male pelvis is this one. So the top part of the sacrum is here, and where your tailbone curves is where it would fit right in here. So that's a place to hold that. So the other part, whenever there's a problem at the, I'm gonna take off my watch. Whenever there's a problem at the low back, you usually can feel it. The neck has an issue too, because they're connected. The same fascia and the dural tube, your spinal column that goes around, it's connected. So, I just want to show how holding her sacrum is like an extra pair of hands for me. So, you know how I had one hand opposing the other? So now that's like the hand that's opposing down there at the sacrum, allowing me to pull a little tension here at her neck. And slowly, it's going to stretch out the whole spine. And just give her some relief. The thing about this is it's so gentle that we're not doing that.
You'll find a lot if you look up messages in water, Dr. Emoto's work. There's so much out there to learn about. In the very beginning, we talked about wellness and the potential or the possibility that we can affect our life and our world. That's what we want to bring to you. I'm not going to do that yet. See the butterfly picture? The butterfly. I don't know. There it is. Yeah. Oh, so I skipped over a slide. There are in your book list, there's a couple authors that are listed, but the other portion of this is what's called biofrequency. It's about vibrational medicine, that things actually have vibration. Beings, physical beings, plants, animals. There's a lot of, again, information about there. In the very beginning, we mentioned the use of essential oils. I use a lot of essential oils in my practice, and in my home, I use them as primary medicine. So if my son has a stomach ache, I'm going to use certain ginger and peppermint, or if he's sick, I use another one called Thieves that helps with more like antibiotic things. And there's actually hospitals, there's a hospital I believe in California that uses this one particular essential oil to treat MRSA. So again, these it's not new information. Essential oils is like 6,000-year-old science, but there is some, I believe in your packet there's also resources for that. So we've given you a ton of information, and we want to leave you with this. So if you pull out your picture, you got a little picture there of a butterfly.
In your little folder, yellow folder.
And there's a poem. And we didn't write the word possibility, but if you would be so kind as to write that word on that paper for yourself, if you want to. And,
So in the very beginning, we said that empowerment has to do with the willingness to believe that it is possible that you can experience wellness in your body.
So yeah, possibility. I use crayons and art. I really particularly like this. It's a poem. It's not really a poem. It's just a story, and it's out there everywhere. I'm going to read it to you. It's called Butterfly. Yeah. I'm trying to. Oh, good for you. So a monk found a cocoon of a butterfly. One day, a small opening appeared. He sat and watched the butterfly for several hours as it struggled to force its body through that little hole. Then it seemed to stop making progress. It appeared as if it had gotten as far as it could and could go no further. Then the monk decided to help the butterfly, so he took a pair of scissors and snipped off the remaining bit of the cocoon. The butterfly then emerged easily, but it had a swollen body and small shriveled wings. The monk continued to watch the butterfly because he expected that at any moment the wings would enlarge and expand and be able to support the body, which would contract in time. But neither happened. In fact, the butterfly spent the rest of his life crawling around with a swollen body and shriveled wings. Although the monk took very good care of the butterfly all of its days, it was never able to fly. What the monk in his kindness and haste did not understand was that the restricting cocoon and the struggle required for the butterfly to get through the tiny opening were God's way of forcing fluid from the body of the butterfly into its wings so that it could be ready for flight once it achieved its freedom from the cocoon. Freedom and flight could only come after a struggle. Griffin is a blogger, I believe. Griffin's commentary says, sometimes struggles are exactly what we need in life. If we were allowed to go through our whole life without any obstacles, it would cripple us. We would not be as strong as we could have been. Not every struggle has a positive outcome, but many are better for us than we realize. Often it is in the struggle and the striving that we become truly alive and are able to recognize and appreciate the beauty of this world and all the wonder around us. So I know that people who have fibromyalgia or diagnosed with fibromyalgia have have not had an easy road sometimes. So, you know, in our experience, through our own physical pain, it has helped us emerge so much more rich through the body work and experience. So that is our wish for you, if it may be for you.
And we're very grateful that you came today and that you came with your curiosity and your openness to, it's no mistake that you're here. We don't believe that coincidences happen, but it's just another word for a divine plan. So for what you get from this, take it and just watch for the next step. Just allow yourself, I give you this invitation, to imagine that it's possible. Things that you can't believe right now could happen for you. But it's possible that there are thoughts that you can't think yet, but are there. That when that time comes, that you can say, oh, you know, maybe I could see this, and maybe I am then open to that possibility. Then you might begin to notice that opportunities come to you, that you can then make choices that say, oh, this might be exactly what I need to move forward, to have the wellness, to actually experience in my body the wellness that I know is inside. You have to just a mustard seed work, that belief that it's possible. Where it starts. So thanks very much. And we are available. We have our information there. So if any time after you have any questions about anything that we offer today, feel free to contact us. Just ask us questions and how we can support you. And Sue has an awful lot of support for myofascial fibromyalgia. So you're not alone, and there's a whole world out there of people ready to help you move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We talk a lot of times, don't we?
Yeah, it's a lot of listening, folks.
There's a lot of information in that. I realized we forgot to put our emails in. I'm latest on responding to emails, so a phone call is always fine if you want to have a question or.
I hope sure had all.
Yeah. Oh, maybe mine does too. Maybe my papers too. But there's a lot of resources there as well. The books and videos, and it's giving you tons of
You're
information.
very attentive. Wow.
Well, thank you. It's our life's work, you know. So.
Yeah, I hope that the video can
What's that, Brenda?
edit out all of our techno stuff.
We didn't do too bad. So we weren't even sure which